Thanks for coming today to our info session. So my name is Sam, and I'm the current Vice President of our Global Talent Program, our Global Internship Program. So that's the first portion that I'm going to be talking to you about today. So Global Talent are more professional, long-term internships. And within Global Talent, we have teaching, sales, and marketing, our three main internship types. So for the agenda for this session, this brief introduction, then we're going to go into what Global Talent is exactly, each of the subtypes, and then some requirements and details of the program, program fees, and then if you guys have any questions at the end. So for Global Talent, since these are more professional, long-term internships, it's someone who's going to be able to have specific knowledge and skills about marketing, about sales, maybe some experience in teaching or tutoring, and who wants to apply it in an international environment. Someone who wants to differentiate themselves from their peers. Gaining international experience is going to be great. It's going to be great to put on your resume. You're going to stand out from other people who are applying for the same job as you. So not only will you gain professional, personal experience, but that international experience as well. So discovering the globalized business world, relevant experience for your future. Again, this is about professional development, personal development, and building a global network. So within AIESEC Madison, the AIESEC abroad, you're going to really gain a lot of global contacts. So the first subtype or subproduct within Global Talent is teaching. So this can be teaching English or a subject in English to children or adults. So this will be things like creating teaching plans, creating different materials to use in your classes, and also promoting cross-cultural education. A lot of our internships ask that you bring things from your home country, or you're able to share things from your home country to teach your students as well about other countries. So I have a little sample here. So this is basically what our job descriptions look like. So this is a teaching internship in Colombia. And so just so you can get an idea, this is teaching kids. And so it says, like delivering English lessons. So this is going to be teaching English. Implementation of cultural awareness again. So there's global villages, country talks, different workshops. And making it innovative, interactive, and fun for the students. So then sales is the next subproduct. So understanding global market, economy through firsthand experience. Developing essential soft skills. Again, you'll be gaining personal experience, professional experience in maybe what you want to do for your future career, but you'll have that international experience as well to differentiate you from your peers. And we have positions related to business administration and sales in NGOs and companies of all different sizes. And marketing kind of goes along with that. So again, developing your specific marketing skills in a global setting, and working with NGOs or companies, so creating marketing materials, doing different promotion, campaigns, social media. It's a wide variety of things within marketing. So this is just another little example for you guys to take a look at. So this is an internship in Malaysia. And it's business development and administration. So as you can see, some of the job descriptions, building strategies for business expansion, communicating with potential clients, assist in financial reporting. So there's really a lot of different areas you can go into or look for in an internship in regards to marketing, business administration, some finance as well. So these are a few of our partner countries. So these countries, and this is not by any means an exhaustive list of all the countries that we offer. This is actually not even all of our partner countries. But since Global Talent is a little more specific, we like to focus on these countries for Global Talent. So that's Colombia, Czech Republic, Brazil, Hungary, and China. So these countries have a high quantity of internships available, and they're also very high quality. We found that students who go there to these countries have a really, really great experience. So Colombia is huge for teaching. Brazil really has like a lot of everything. China, again, is huge for teaching, marketing and sales as well. And if you're looking to go to Europe, Hungary and Czech Republic are like two really, really great options. And it's so easy to travel in Europe. So those two are ones that we like to highlight. So why AIESEC? So we're here to support you every step of the way. So we're fellow students, recent graduates, so not only will you be able to work with students from AIESEC Madison, we're here to help you, support you, help you find that internship, prepare you to go abroad, and really answer any questions or concerns that you might have. And then while you're abroad as well, you'll be integrated, in the local culture. You'll be with local people, or people, maybe other interns who are from different countries, and you're really going to have a great support system. So we are a non-for-profit organization, and we, as students, understand a student's budget, and we have some really, our prices are very competitive. So we understand, again, a student's budget, and this is not something that we want to be hugely expensive. And we have a huge database with all of our internships and opportunities. So it's really about finding something that's perfect for you. If you have, a lot of experience in marketing, we want you to find something that's going to be great, that's going to help you, further your personal experience, further your personal skills, and be able to really benefit you in the future. So some details of the program. You have to be a current undergraduate student, or you can have graduated within the last 2 years. We say completion of 4 semesters in related program, but this really means we want, since again Global Talent is, it's more professional and long-term, so they usually want someone who has experience in marketing, who has some experience in business, or maybe who has some experience teaching or working with kids, things like that. Have to be single, not married, under 29 years of age, and being flexible, open-minded, and open to cross-cultural learning is really the most important, because not only are you there to, do your job, teach or work in a business, but you're there to really gain a global perspective. You're there to learn about a different culture as well, and gain an appreciation for a different culture, and be able to share your culture with them as well. So the duration for Global Talent is anywhere from 4 to 18 months. So again, a little more longer term. And you will have a salary, and this is enough to cover your living expenses while you're abroad. So the AIESEC there might help you, find an apartment, and then your salary will be able to help you cover rent and different things like that. Insurance is available through us. We will help you or provide you with insurance through AIESEC. And so you'll have insurance while you're abroad. And then flight is the only thing that we don't provide a flight. So that would have to be taken care of on your own. So our program fees. So for sales and marketing, there's a $150 acceptance fee. So this is once you have applied. We have an interview as well. So once you have gone through those steps and have been officially accepted into our program, and we're going to put you, on our database as an available exchange participant, that's when that fee would be charged. So to apply, to have an interview with us, it's completely free, no charge at all. And then after that, once you are accepted to an internship, so once you're officially matched to an internship and are locked in for that, that's when a $600 program fee would be charged. And then the same goes for teaching with the $150 acceptance fee, and then teaching is a $350 program fee upon being matched. And again, with sales and marketing, I think the salaries tend to be a little bit higher, so that's why that program is a little bit more expensive. So then here we just have a quote from Kofi Annan, the former Secretary General of the United Nations. So this basically just shows really the impact that AIESEC has. He's obviously a world leader, and for him to say that we are contributing to positive exchange, cultural exchange, and education is something really big. And again, as important as personal and professional development is, the cultural experience is just as important as well. So, if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to come up to me afterwards. And that's like a link to the application, but you don't have to worry about writing it down. So if you guys all signed in, we'll email it to you afterwards. The application deadline is this Friday, March 28th at 11:59 p.m. And if you think of any other questions throughout the week, you can feel free to email isecmadisonogip@gmail.com. Any questions? All right. I'll hand it over to Corin then.
Cool. And then I will go ahead and talk about the other types of programs that we offer through AIESEC Madison. So give me just 1 second here. Awesome. Okay, so what we just talked about is called our Global Talent Program, and that, as Sam mentioned, is the longer term, more professional programs from 4 months up to 18 months. But then the Global Citizen Program, these are the shorter term, 6 weeks to 3 months, so these are really great opportunities for the summer. Typically unpaid, but then they will typically include housing and food in that cost, so you won't have to pay for that. So it is typically a good program for the summer. So within Global Citizen, there are 4 different subtypes, and these are environment, social entrepreneurship, which is good for those of you who are more interested in business in your future, culture, and then education. So you'll notice that education/teaching kind of crosses over. You can see that both here and in Global Talent. So here, these are more entry-level education opportunities, so if you don't necessarily have a lot of experience with education in the past, these are definitely great opportunities to apply for. It's a good way to start getting that kind of experience. And if you're interested in teaching English in other countries, this is a great opportunity to be able to do that. So we just have, again, an agenda here for what I'm going to be talking about as far as the Global Citizen Program. So just talking briefly about what our values are in AIESEC as an organization, going over Global Citizen as a program, the 4 different types that I mentioned. Again, requirements and details because they vary a little bit for Global Citizen. Again, the fees, have a little story time. We're going to have a past exchange participant share, and then we'll again have question and answers time. So our values. There are 6 values that we strive to achieve in everything that we do in AIESEC, and these are striving for excellence, demonstrating integrity, activating leadership, acting sustainably, enjoying participation, and living diversity. So how do we do these? So for example, living diversity is through the experiences that we offer. We really focus on cultural immersion in all of the experiences that we offer. So you're living diversity when you're going abroad and you're immersing yourself in an entirely different culture and you're actually living in a new culture. You're living out that diversity. Enjoying participation, so a lot of things that we do in AIESEC, we try to make it really fun. If you ever get the chance to be involved in our AIESEC local committee, you'll realize that we're actually a bunch of fun people. We're not just a bunch of scary professional people standing up here trying to sell you our programs. Acting sustainably, so you'll see that a lot when we talk about our environmental programs, etc. I could go on about each of these values, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of what AIESEC really tries to achieve in everything that we do. So again, make a difference. So these are a couple statements about the ideal kind of person who's going to want to go abroad through the Global Citizen Program. So someone who wants to be a change agent by creating impact and empowering the community. Someone who wants to experience this new country and culture and participate in global learning environment. Differentiate yourself from your peers, develop yourself personally and professionally in a challenging experience. And you'll notice when I said all of these, I said that these are things that describe that kind of person, and these are things that they have to want. So really you have to look at yourself and really know, like, are these the things that you want out of the internship experience that you're looking for? And if you want that experience, then AIESEC will be a good fit for you. But if you read these and you feel like these really don't fit me, then maybe it won't necessarily. So it's just kind of food for thought to really think like, is this the right time in my life to be taking this kind of opportunity to really immerse myself in a new culture and be ready to step outside my comfort zone for this. All right, so now to delve into the 4 different types that we offer. First off is environment. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be working with different environmental initiatives, different sustainability initiatives to make things more green in different parts of the world. So some general statements about what this program entails, helping to make our world more sustainable, understanding the environmental issues, and really understanding the global impacts of them, because obviously we may understand at a kind of cursory level from classes we've taken or news that we've read, various issues that are in certain parts of the world, but really starting to understand that global impact and how there's an international tie in between them is really what you'll be able to get out of an experience like this. And specific types of focuses that you'll see would be environmental, sustainability, food and agriculture, and then nature and wildlife preservation. Next up is culture. So this is a really exciting one, obviously, because this is something you get to do in all of them, but then in this one, you really get to focus on learning all about that culture and sharing your own culture at the same time. So you're making the world a better place by participating in this cross-cultural learning and education, and you're developing today's youth into tomorrow's leaders. So culture typically kind of rolls together with education, so it'll be a cultural education kind of program where you go there with the presentation in mind of how you're going to present your own culture, whether that is United States culture or that is a culture of your heritage, whether that's European, Asian, South American, etc. To really be able to show them what your culture is and then to learn about theirs in turn. So kind of a two-way street of cross-cultural interaction. And here the focuses that you'll see most often are multiculturalism, human rights, social responsibility, arts, entrepreneurship. So if any of you all there are international studies majors or community and nonprofit leadership, I never remember how to say that whole, lots of words, but those majors, those are typically a very good fit for you. Not that it's not for other people, but those typically tend to be the people who are most interested in these. Social entrepreneurship, so like I mentioned, these are great entry-level opportunities for those of you who are looking to go into business in your future. So you may have noticed, obviously, there are business opportunities offered through Sam's team that can be in marketing or sales, but those are longer term. Those are typically for people who have recently graduated or who are willing to take a semester off to take on this international internship. But if you want something shorter term and you really want to be able to get business experience on your resume, the social entrepreneurship program can be a great fit for you. So you're putting practical business knowledge that you may or may not have yet to practice, and you're really helping to grow an NGO or another small business abroad. So typically you're working with, like it says, a non-governmental organization or some kind of business startup in one of these developing countries. And you're going to be working with things like market research, sponsorship research, tongue-tied today, positioning of the company in its target market, the actual physical marketing work, financial analysis, and management. So what I really say when I talk about the social entrepreneurship program is that this is a great fit for those of you who may be applying to the business school, you're trying to get that first business experience on your resume, or maybe you're in the business school already and you know that you're going to be going for that really awesome professional internship next year and you really want to have something on your resume now. This is a great way to have that entry-level experience when it comes to business and really differentiate yourself. And then, of course, education. So really the mission here is just to provide literacy to the world and to help communities grow. Typically within education you're going to be teaching English or you're going to be teaching various subjects in English, whether that's science or math, etc. And here the focuses that you'll see most commonly are literacy, cultural understanding, teaching, learning how to teach, educating communities on various topics. Cool. All right, so then we have our country partners. So you'll notice here that, yes, it includes the ones that Sam mentioned, but there also are a couple more with the Global Citizen Program. So there are 8 total country partners that we focus on when it comes to Global Citizen, which are the mainland of China, Brazil, Colombia, Bahrain, Taiwan, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Portugal. So you notice you have a pretty broad spread here. You have some in Europe, you have some in South America, in the Middle East, and also over in Asia. So there's a lot of different places that we really recommend as excellent regions for the Global Citizen Program. And again, as Sam mentioned, these are 8 countries that we're really focusing on because we can look back to our data and say we have high quantity and high quality experiences offered here, but that's not by any means to preclude any of the other countries. So as we also mentioned with our program, there are 120 different countries that you can go abroad to through AIESEC. These are just the 8 we focus on the most based on what our past experiences have been. Okay, then overview of details specifically for the program. So again, be a current undergraduate student, graduated within the last 2 years. For this completion of 2 semesters in a related program, when it comes to Global Citizen, this is a little bit more of a loose requirement, so not to freak out. If you want to go into education, you don't need to have taken 2 semesters of education classes. It's a recommendation, but it's very much the idea of if you can talk about your experiences effectively and talk about what skills you have that would make you a good candidate for it, you're very likely going to get matched for a Global Citizen program. These, I would say, are a lot easier to get matched to than the Global Internship program because it's not necessarily that competitive business environment when you're looking to match the internship. It's more about, are you the kind of person who's going to be able to handle this cultural immersion, and you bring the necessary competencies to be a teacher, to talk about your culture, to talk about the environment, etc. So then the duration for these is 6 up to 16 weeks. Housing is usually provided, as it is unpaid. This is a nice kind of compensation to help out with that. So typically you'll be living either with a host family or in a hostel or in a trainee house. So when you go abroad through AIESEC, you're called a trainee. So then all of the trainees or interns, same difference, would be living together in one house potentially in that area where you're going to be staying. Insurance, again, available through AIESEC. So AIESEC partners with an organization called AIESEC, ISIC. And I forget what that stands for, but basically it means International Student Insurance. That's included right away in your program fee costs, so that's nothing extra that you have to pay for. And that covers you for any medical expenses up to $100,000. And just to clarify the way that that would work, it is a claim-based system. So the way it would work is if anything happens to you where you would have to go and pay for medical expense, you would have to pay for the bill up front and then submit a claim, and then they would reimburse you for that cost. So just to be upfront about the way that that system would work. And in addition to the insurance that we offer, you can also apply for supplemental insurance through the International Internship Program because we have a partnership through them, and that would again be at no extra cost to you. And then also flight ticket is not included, sorry to say. But when you look at the cost of what we offer, we like to think that that kind of makes sense, that's why that would be. So talking about those fees that we have for the Global Citizen Program, so this is going to be similar to what you saw when Sam was talking about her teaching program. There's the $150 acceptance fee. This is after you've already applied, after you've interviewed, when we've gone through all of that and we've said, okay, we're willing to take you on as an exchange participant, and then you sign the form saying, yes, I commit to this. Like at that time, then we would charge you the $150. Up until that point, there is no binding, no nothing whatsoever. And then after that, you go through the process of applying, finding a program, and once you're officially matched to that program, then you would pay the $350 program fee. So if you look at it that way, it's a grand total of $500 that you're paying to us. That's it, that's all you pay to us. And then on top of that, you just have to pay for your flight, and then if you go abroad, you're gonna have housing and typically food included also. So no, you're not getting paid, but it is a relatively low cost investment from you. So that can work out to be a pretty ideal situation. And then just to review what our application process looks like. So y'all are in the introduction phase right now, so that means you're getting your first exposure to AIESEC. You're standing here listening to me blather on about what AIESEC is and what you can do with AIESEC. After that, you go through selection, so that's when you would do your application. We're going to send you the application link right after this. Then after that, we'll select people to be interviewed. If you get through the interview, then you would be officially accepted. After that, we call it raising, so that's when we take on new interns and we add you to the database. Matching, you go through the entire process of applications, find the program that accepts you, and then once you're officially matched and you've signed your contract with that internship, then you go through preparation. So we have an outgoing preparation seminar, which is a 4-hour event on a Saturday in late April, where we would just go through kind of the logistics of your experience, culture shock, all of the policies, just make sure that everything is clear to you before you go abroad. In addition to that, we'll help you to book your flight. We do have a partnership with Student Universe. I don't know if any of you have heard of Student Universe before, but it's a great organization that offers discounted flights to students. That's a great resource to check out. And then we'll also help you out with the application process for your visa, because depending on where you're going abroad, that can be a bit of a tricky process. Some countries require invitation letters, some countries don't require anything at all. We've worked with it before, so we'll definitely help you out with that process. Then after preparation is realization, so that's just you going abroad, and then we'll keep in contact with you while you're abroad in case there are any issues that we can help you out with. And then reintegration is when you come back here and we take you through the reintegration seminar to really focus on what reverse culture shock is like, because now that you immerse in that other culture, you're going to come back and be like, wait, it's weird to be here, what is this culture? I lived here, what? So yeah, that's what we're here to help you out with. Then just to touch on quickly, so global partners. So these are some organizations that AIESEC at the international level has partnered with. And we just show you these to kind of demonstrate the legitimacy of our organization and to show you the kinds of organizations that we work with. So you'll see some on here that should be pretty familiar to you. For example, Nike, Microsoft, some of you may have heard of EF, which is Education First Tours, Electrolux, etc. So these are organizations that have partnered with us, not only that in that they will take on interns typically, whether it's the global internship program or otherwise, but then in addition to taking on AIESEC interns, they've also invested in the professional development opportunities that AIESEC offers. So they really focus on helping us to make our programs the best leadership development experience for all people involved. Okay, so now that I've talked forever, I'm going to invite someone else to talk for a little bit. So I'd like to welcome up Stephanie Mercado, who's a past exchange participant.
Should I do click in here?
I can do it if you want, or if you want to do it.
Doesn't matter. I can do it, please.
Okay, cool. I will stand out of the way.
Alright, hey guys, I'm Stephanie. I went abroad through AIESEC last summer to João Pessoa, Brazil. If you picture South America, it's the most northeastern point in South America. So yeah, I went for 6 weeks, and this is just my experience. Okay. So this is the airport when I first came. It was a really small city, João Pessoa. When I was there, I was teaching, and I focused. I didn't really teach English. I focused more on entrepreneurship, sustainability. We had cultural awareness. We had a whole bunch of different topics that we would cover every week. When I was there, I worked with people from all over the world. I worked with people from Singapore, from China, from a lot of places, England, just places all over the world. Hold on. Okay, so this girl right here, Wendy, she was from China. So it just gives you an idea of how, not only are you in a different place where you learn about that culture, but you also get to know a lot about different cultures around the world just by working with your coworkers. This is one of my students, Savio. This particular day, we were learning about their culture. So they were teaching us how to break dance, how to do about soccer in Brazil. There's a bunch of cool things. This is one of the days, when you're over there, I stayed with a host family, and my host family ended up being, my host sister, she ended up being from AIESEC in Brazil. Like they said, AIESEC is a huge networking thing. So she ended up speaking English, even though I never spoke Portuguese. So it worked out really well. And then I got to meet people from Portugal, from Colombia, from Ecuador. And then they would take us out in the weekend. For instance, this is a samba thing. I don't know. So they get to take us out in the weekend. You don't feel like you're by yourself. This was an around the world kind of thing, and we got to represent our own country. We all had booths set up, and I represented the United States. People represented the UK. Like I said, Portugal. We had Germany. We had Singapore. So that was fun. The food. That's one of the best parts about going abroad, I think, personally, especially in Brazil. They had a lot of cheese and carbs and delicious. Just to emphasize it and make that happen. Yeah, this was melted banana with cheese and cinnamon. Doesn't sound, maybe it sounds good to you, I don't know. But at first, it tasted really good. Yeah, so this is just like I said, that when you're over there, you don't feel alone. You always have this strong support system. Like I said, when you're there, you're coming into an already established AIESEC organization, just like they would be coming here to AIESEC Madison. So you already know people without really knowing them, and then they make an effort to teach you about their culture, and they take you out to different things. For instance, this was a forró concert, which is a type of dance in Brazil, and it's right on the beach. So that was really wicked cool. That was really fun too. My host family was from a smaller town in Brazil, and then this is where they grew up, which is kind of cool. This is another place in Brazil, deeper into the jungle area. Yeah, that's it. But I just want to touch on, before I went, I had to get a visa. Like Brazil, they encourage, you need one to go, and that was kind of a hassle at first, but I definitely had a lot of help. And also, not knowing the language shouldn't stop you from going somewhere. I didn't know Portuguese, but I knew Spanish, and that helped me so much. I had never traveled by myself, and I went in not knowing anyone. I was the first EP from the United States, so just go for it, even if it feels uncomfortable. But overall, it was one of the best experiences of my life, and it looks great on resumes, and people always ask me about it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. That's it.
Cool. Thanks. Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay. So then just a little bit to wrap up here. So again, for application, we put the link up here, but like Sam mentioned, we're going to email that out to you as long as you signed in. If you didn't get a chance to, make sure to do that before you go. And then the applications are, just like Sam's, due Friday night at 11:59. So then we have obviously question and answers. So if you want any more information that I've already kind of thrown at you already today, we also do have our global AIESEC United States portal. That's global.isecus.org, and there you can read in a lot more detail than even I presented today about each of the programs, whether it's global citizen or global talent. And then also you can contact me just like you can contact Sam via the email address here. And you also don't have to worry about writing that down because we're going to send you a PDF version of this PowerPoint so you can kind of scroll back through it and like look through it and then like send me any questions you have. But does anybody have questions right now? Yes?
When during the summer do they usually start? Like at the end of June or?
They start all throughout the summer. There's some that, there's usually like a wave that starts right around May 20th. And then some around the beginning of June and then the beginning of July. Because they can be just 6 weeks, you could go like beginning of July and then go for like those 6 weeks there. Or you could even do it where it's like middle of July up to the end. Most of them are pretty flexible. They're usually looking for somewhere in the whole summer and you can just kind of like book your 6 weeks in there. So there's a lot of flexibility where that's concerned. Yeah?
Are there like language requirements for different countries by any chance? Like do you have to be able to speak Spanish to go to like, I don't know, Mexico or Dominican Republic or something like that?
It'll really vary by the program. It just depends what kind of experience they're looking for. So I know like I've seen some, whether it's in Argentina where yes, they will require Spanish and then other ones where they won't. I've noticed typically when it comes to social entrepreneurship, when it's in like the business setting, they're typically going to want some facility with the language. But if it's education, they're not going to be focused on it as much because they want you to be teaching in English so that you can give them that exposure to English. So it'll vary by the program. There's no consistent rule like this country does not accept people that don't speak the language. So, yeah. Anybody else? Okay, well then if you do have more questions, just email me and then we'll send you the application link right after this. And thank you again for coming.